So when given the option, and assuming things work out, of course, I prefer to be as early in the competitive season as possible for events that I run. And this Saturday, we were on opening day of opening weekend, the Blitz Skirmish at Gongaii Games, which I'll be recapping today. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, my Flesh and Blood friends. Welcome back to the channel, and thank you so much for tuning in here on your Flesh and Blood Monday. And oh my goodness, what a weekend of Flesh and Blood it has been. Not only did we have the kickoff globally of Skirmish Season 12, be it Blitz, be it Living Legend, be it CSP, but we also had the big event in Kansas City. I was streaming that all weekend. It was really good to watch. Shout out to Travis from Fab Foundry, or I should say Foundry Events, who was running that partner here for our Commoner Crawl, or whatever that will be called going forward with Project Blue. But I digress. Today, I want to talk about my event from this last Saturday, which was the Blitz Skirmish event we ran at Gongaii. Now, this event, I have to say, first off, I'm predispositioned because I love the whole concept of skirmish season and what it does in terms of, regardless of format, what it does in terms of getting locals into the LGS and having kind of a local pseudo-competitive. It's competitive, but at a casual rel. I really, really, really appreciate skirmish. I think it is the best of what Flesh and Blood has to offer. And this event for me exceeded my expectations, not in terms of attendance, but in terms of the performance of the event and the games we had in the event. Now, as I mentioned, Kansas City was going on this weekend, and because Travis, our local to my area, was running it, there was a non-zero number of locals who made the trip to Kansas City. That definitely did impact our attendance. Historically, so there are only 3 Blitz events within a roughly 100-mile radius, or 160-kilometer-ish radius of us, so I was expecting more folks to show up. We also did have a Living Legend event across town. They actually only ended up getting 6 people, which is interesting because I thought you had to have 8 to fire, but that's not really my problem. So we'll see what happens there. But we had 14, and like I said, I was expecting more people, but the event itself was awesome. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put up a slideshow of just some pictures I took across the event, and that'll play in the background as we talk. So our main field was as follows. We had 4 Kayos. We had 5 Kayos, but we had 4 armed Kayos. We had 3 Florians. We had 1 Data Doll. We had 1 Dromai. We had 1 Zen. We had 1 Prism. We had 1 Kayo, 1 Quickie P, and 1 Blaze. So we talked about, I don't know if KO's better, I don't know if Florian's better, and you see the split there. But I don't think that the ones necessarily represent, and once we get to the top 4, you'll see that it didn't, right? But I don't think that the ones necessarily accurately represented the wider meta. But that's okay, and that's kind of the point of going into this is skirmish lets the locals do what the locals want to do, okay? So Anthony Galleran ended up taking the event down on Data Doll, and I was live streaming this event. I'll link it up in the thing, right, with the arrow, and you do the things. The game's awesome, right? He was up against Aaron Roker in the final on Quickie P, and it was an awesome game. So to be fair, if I was Aaron, I might not feel it was an awesome game, but Aaron played it exactly correct. And it just, Data Doll did that. Like, Aaron had the advantage. It came down to Anthony having the very last card in his deck, attack action in his deck, in his arsenal, to be able to do what he needed to do. There was a crazy high roll top deck of getting 2 of the protocol reds so that he could do what he needed to do in a boom grenade turn. Aaron executed it perfectly. It just Data Dolled, and Anthony executed it perfectly to put himself in the position to do what he needed to do. Amazing final. Right, so going into the top 4, okay, we had the top 4, that's right, no Florians. We had Tristan Sedlacek at 4-0 on the day on Armed KO. We had Anthony in the 4 slot on Datadol going 3-1. So it was 4-0 and then everybody else 3-1. Aaron Roker on Quickie P. And then Nathan Erickson, the hero of the day, on OG Roll the Dice KO, going 3-1. He also had a game on stream where he took out Anthony, who ended up winning the event, right? This was during Swiss rounds. Anthony had everything he did. He was going to punch through with a dominated attack with a boom grenade to shut him down. 10 foot tall and bulletproof to defend. Suck it. Awesome. I'm telling you, the stream, whether or not you like the quality of my stream, completely get it. But the games on stream, oh, we had so many good games. So many good games. And it only represented what? It was 1/8 of the field. Oh, so good. So good. Completely awesome. And you do see the top 4 right there. We see Aaron, we see Nathan, we see the winner, Anthony, and then we see Tristan on the side. Excellently played by all 4 of those gentlemen. All right, so Tristan and Anthony, again, this game was on stream. Anthony did pull that one out, obviously, because he won. And then Aaron and Nathan, Aaron was able to dodge Nathan, I believe, during Swiss, but pulled it out. It's pretty good with, it's Quickie Pete is pretty good with the ability to get bracers, or I should say dynamos, not bracers, dynamos. And it helps a little bit, blood rush and all that stuff coming at face. And, sometimes the die rolls don't go your way, but the fact that Nathan was able to die roll his way into the top 4, that's not how dice work, right? Eventually they average out. He was doing exactly what he needed to do. He was playing awesome on the day. And like I said, hero of the day. And then the final, well, you just go watch it. Just go watch it. It was a great game. Such a great game. And then Anthony pulling it out. So congratulations to Anthony. This is his second event that he has won to get LO points for Datadol. So he's already on the roll of honor, but he keeps pushing her ever so closer. I still don't know at the time of the shooting what the points will be. I believe it's 6, but we'll find out. We'll find out next week. So that's the rundown of the event from a technical standpoint. Now, kind of takeaways. The Dromai was going to be really, if you looked at Dromai into that field, right, had the potential to be really scary. Now, things didn't go Daniel's way in terms of just where he ended up in the field, but Dromai could have very well come in and pretty much lit up, right? Pretty much lit up the field. There also was a very interesting thing that happened round 1. And if I could have designed it this way, I probably would have. I didn't, because I don't control gem like that, right? But Billy and Sean both very, very, very big and good players within our meta, within our local scene, I should say. Both of them were on Florian, and they matched up in round 1. So there was non-zero friendly fire impact there. We also there were 4 armed KOs. Both of them, round 1, were mirror matches. So we had a Florian mirror, and then we had 2 armed KO mirror matches during round 1. So just the gem roulette friendly fire absolutely 100% shaped the face of the event. And, just like OG KO has to roll the dice for his 10 foot tall bulletproof, so it goes for this as well. And I'm inherently biased towards my love of these events based on loving Skirmish and what it represents for our local communities. And I'll just say this, the only bummer of the day was that I wasn't able to play in my local Blitz Skirmish because I was a TO. And you know what? I'm perfectly okay taking the hit because I got to do that and see the event, and I got to walk around and watch all the games. So in a way, I got to play all the games in my head, and it was a phenomenal, phenomenal time. Also want to give a huge shout out to Steven. Actually both Stevens. Steven Morgan came back out of retirement to run his Blaze, did quite well on the day. Ended up going 2-2, but as with any Wizard matchup, it is right there, right? It's always right there coming down to the wire. I guess that's how it is, because you take you leave a whole bunch of damage on the table to try and clap back, and if you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. And so be it. But he came out of retirement, and then Steven, actually you see him across the screen right there, that guy, he was on Prism for the day. And I was, I was like, you're either gonna have a good day or a bad day. And he was, that picture we just saw, they were at the bottom table in an illusionist matchup. Of course, nobody has poppers. It was kind of funny. Anyway, also right here, shout out to Jonathan Maxwell, made the trip down. Christina was not able to make it, unfortunately, but Jonathan was able to make it out, and he came in shooting, went 2-2 on the day. And again, when you're in a field, when you're cutting to top 4, it makes it tough, right? Because there's not a lot of room for misses at that point, and you run into a bad matchup or things don't go your way. There's not a lot of time to recover in a 4-round tournament. So anyway, that will end the recap today. Again, Skirmish is going on for the next 2 weeks. I'll be back probably within 36-ish hours. So I should say from shooting, I'll be back probably within 2 days-ish to tell you, or to run down, I should say, the Living Legend recap, assuming we get the data from LS. We'll look at the projections. My guess is that nobody's going this season. Maybe Dorinthea, but we'll see. We'll talk about it in a couple days. Nothing else, my friends. I'll see you then, and we'll see you throughout all of Skirmish season. If nothing else, go Commando.